Hello everyone, we're continuing with Cartier and today we're going to be smelling from Les Rivières de Cartier Luxuriance and Insouciance, then Baiser Volé Parfum, La Panthère Parfum and Pur Muguet. So there's quite many of them, there's 5 of them, so I hope I'll be able to smell them all. And I'm going to start with Luxuriance. This Rivières de Cartier, they sort of remind me of that collection from Chanel, you know, where all the travels, I don't know what it's called, I'll put it on the video, I forget what it's called. So all of these fragrances are fairly new. They've been launched 2020 2021, so they're fairly new, and you know, it's always nice to smell something done by Mathilde Laurent. So let's see what this is. Oh, starts off very green, Luxuriance, like a chypre green with, it's a galbanum type of scent, I think, but it's also, oh yes, it's bitter, very nice. Artemisia, I think. Bitter Artemisia, some citrus grapefruity notes, and definitely something green, like a galbanum chypre type of smell. It's very interesting. Let's see how wrong I was. So, okay, herbal notes, which mean nothing. The note of a fern, which is, again, nothing. Ferns don't have a smell. The whole fern, you know, gave the name to fougères, right? So I guess I'm smelling a fougère now. Geranium, rosemary, mastic, oak, and pistachio. So no, it's Artemisia, definitely, because it's bitter and very emerald deep green. I do have to say there is something from the bitterness of the geranium here, definitely that. But I still think it's a sort of Artemisia. Now, this does remind me of something from Hermès, which is Eau de Basilic Pourpre. Quite a lot. It's that same leafy, aromatic, very, you know, emerald green, deeper than green. So beautiful. It's a very nice, fresh, summery, tonic scent I would very much like to own. It's not deeply woody, but it has woody aspects, and I like this. Now let's try Insouciance, which means, you know, carelessness, reckless carelessness. It's a beautiful term, Insouciance. This one is quite green as well. I think, well, I was expecting like all of them to be quite fresh, you know, light fragrances. I think it's one of those lines of scents that are meant to rival something, you know, like not necessarily precisely Aqua Lagoria, but something like Aqua Lagoria. There are so many lines that have emerged lately, which is always nice. I do like those type of scents, very fresh, you know, light scents that are not headache inducing, and they smell quite natural. This is not something very defined. It's like I'm smelling a very faint rosy wood smell. Rosy wood, what does that mean? Because it doesn't mean rosewood, definitely. There's also there's a note of green apple again. Green apple, rosy wood. Wonder what this could be. And it is becoming more green, you know, by the second. It's quite a nice scent, but there's something thorny about this one. It's like I'm smelling a bush of roses, focusing more on the leaves and the stems and the thorns. this is, you know, fruity notes, they say. Then they say violet, iris, violet, iris, and woody notes. No rose in sight, but you know, whenever there's a bit of violet, those ionones are definitely present in rose as well. So you never know. I would have never classified this as an iris scent. Never. It's also quite citrusy and watery as well. It's a very, very nice scent. A rather undefinable scent, you know, very difficult to describe. It's a jumble of fruits, summery, juicy. It's quite akin to the Aqua Lagoria Flora Bloom, although that's a lot rosier than this one, and a bit akin to Flora Salvagia, with again an underlayer, a sublayer, a subtext of very green aromatics like Eau de Basilic Pourpre. Right? It's quite nice. Quite nice. Let's go to Baiser Volé. This is Baiser Volé Le Parfum. This one is fairly recent as well. And I'm glad they created parfum versions for their scents. This is such a good idea. And it's a good idea that they kept the original bottles. It's something Guerlain used to do, but now they don't. Oh, this is quite glorious. Again, I'm hit with that opium kind of scent. It's a sandalwoody, resinous beeswax candle that's just been snuffed out. Definitely similar to opium, but a lot more floral than opium. This has been quite an opium heavy period of time for me. This is so beautiful. It's almost like a chypre smell because it reminds me at times of La Panthère, with those very green, bombastic white florals. But this is a lot creamier and more mellow. It's more silky. It's like a modern version of Chamade. It's beautiful. But I thought this was supposed to be a vanilla heavy scent, right? What's up with that? I don't get a lot of vanilla in here. I mean, next to none. There are, although, some powdery elements. Now, let's see the notes for Baiser Volé, which means stolen kiss. This is launched in 2022. And it is supposed to be, come on notes. Oh, the notes are very minimalistic, which doesn't help a lot. So they cite lily, heliotrope, and tonka bean. But there is so much more. Oh, and there it is. It's such a familiar scent. I think I might need to get this one. I love Cartier fragrances so much. I don't know, there's something about Cartier fragrances. They're so luxurious and they're so... They always... It's like they catch the light in a certain way. They're always like a piece of jewelry. So gorgeous. There's a spiciness, almost like a cardamom feel to this, which is bitter and musky. This is a gorgeous scent, my goodness. I was afraid I was going to love Baiser Volé Parfum. I've had these samples for quite some time, but I haven't smelled them. Now let's smell La Panthère one more time. I know I've spoken about La Panthère, but I love it so much, so I do need a reminder. And I love the Parfum version. Some people don't, but I do. Oh, there it is. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous white floral. It is so lush. And it's only because I know the eau de parfum, and I know that the eau de parfum is a chypre, that I can tell that this one is a chypre as well, because otherwise you would be just lost in these very plush, very luscious and sultry white florals. They're so sweet but somewhat fresh. My goodness, this is so beautiful. It's so rich, this one. It's definitely my favorite because, well, we all know I have it as a fragrance in my collection, and I especially chose the Parfum version. It is gorgeous, and that bottle is beautiful as well. I love it so much. Let's see the notes. Remind myself of the notes of La Panthère. The Parfum version was launched in 2020. I think they might have changed the bottle, not sure. At least for the eau de parfum, I think they did. And the notes are apricot, moss, osmanthus, patchouli, gardenia, and musk. But I do sense a bit of tuberose in this, because it's just so yummy, bubblegummy, not obnoxious at all. I can sense the osmanthus a lot better than I used to do. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the interaction between these scents that I've smelled today. But the osmanthus is woody, delicately floral. I'm trying my best to set it aside from the, tuberose gardenia, and honeyed, and just a tiny bit salty. And those, the aldehydes in the opening, the fruity aldehydes just work so well with the flowers. It's beautiful. And the last fragrance for today, before I round them up one more time, is Pur Muguet. Which, do I have to look on the notes for this? Because it's just, I suppose it's just Muguet. Now, there can never be enough Muguet scents. It's a category of its own. All houses, all perfumers, well, not all of them, but, most of them try their hands at a Muguet scent at some point in time. And this one is gorgeous lily of the valley. That's almondy and very, very green. It's quite true to life, I suppose, because it's very fresh. Then again, there is a bit of an ambery undertone. I also own Molinar's Muguet, which is lovely as well. It's also green lily of the valley, but that one also has an ambery undertone that in time gets more and more vanillic and sort of pastry vanilla like. This one appears to be quite, it's almost like a fougere type of lily of the valley, which is to say it's very, very green, almost galbanum like, and it's so delicate and it's so, pure. Very nice. Now let's see them one more time. Luxuriance, which is bitter green and very tonic and fresh, quite nice. Insouciance. Alright, this one is bitter green as well, but I can definitely tell apart that geranium. It's quite obvious. They're both fougères, and they're both very nicely done now. Let's see Baiser Volé Parfum. Again, when I first smell it, I'm hit by that opium print, which is very interesting. Creamy, very creamy, this one, and powdery at the same time, but it's just so familiar. I definitely need to explore this one further, definitely. La Panthère is just gorgeous. It's so unapologetic, bombastic type of fragrance. I love this one. This is why I have it. And there's a bit of cassis to this as well, because this reminds me of Magie Noire somewhat. And Pur Muguet is as pure, watery lily of the valley, just like smelling the lily of the valley patch in your garden after the rain. This is gorgeous, gorgeous. And as far as I know, these scents wouldn't be so expensive, as far as I know, but I'll have to check their prices again, because some purchases might happen. God, I hope not, but definitely that Baiser Volé is winking at me. Alright, so I hope you found something useful out of my first impressions on these scents. I'll continue on with the next video, still with Cartier. If you have any other questions, do let me know in the comments, and until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.